Hello, crafty friends. Stacy here with a Tuesday creative session, and I needed a card for Pickles. This is my little grand dog, Mini Dotson, that my daughter and AJ have, and her name is Pickles, and she actually is one today. Today is her birthday, so in this video today, I'm using lots of items from my stash that maybe you have or something similar that you could perhaps recreate. And this is a super easy card. So I'm playing with some Irresistibles paper, some glitter cardstock. I did some fussy cutting here because this is not a thin cut. I use lots of items from my stash. You see, I have this fun cutout here, and look at how fun the inside is. I was able to personalize that. So we're going to recreate this card, but I'm not going to put Pickles this time. I'm just going to make the exact card, and then I can use this card for another dog, and they don't have to be a mini Dotson, right? But it'll be for another female dog. I just will leave Pickles out. So like I said, I'm using lots of items from my stash today and some new items. So the new item is the balloon. So this is from the new Balloon Festoon die set. Amazing die set. Let me show you this and just a little tip here. So this video today, there's just going to be lots of tips, right? That's what I'm going to give you. Look at the sizes of these balloons. So when there's nesting dies like this, I number them. So you'll see I have numbers 1 through 7, and that just means this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So if I'm making a tutorial, as example, this month I did a card class and I used this bundle. So in the tutorial, I've referenced what number balloon I used. So that's just a little tip for you. So I use the dies from this set. I'm also using the mini alphabet die, and you see here, that's how I was able to customize Look Who Is, and then Pickles on the inside. Okay, and this is still available, or you may have it. It's 162934. Okay, I also use the long time no see 166189. That's where I got the cute mini Dotson from, and you could create so many extra long type fun fold cards. I've seen so much online using this llama. There's so much out there, I'm telling you, but that I used. And then also from my stash, from my close to my heart days, just these numbers, that's where I got the number 1. So that's the Stampin' dies that I'm using. And then let's talk about that Irresistible paper. So these are still available. It's 165305. Now, what this is, let's see, let me zoom in and see if you could see the design. So, okay, yeah, see that design right there? Right there. Okay, so there's that one. There is I love this one. This is the hibiscus, hold on, right there. That's a hibiscus flower. And then, so you get 2 sheets of each, 12 by 12. And then the third design is like leaves. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Okay, so it's embossed cardstock. That's kind of what it is. And what you do is what I'm going to show you, we're going to apply ink to it like I did here. So I kind of did like an ombre look. Then I also, just for this card, like I said, I wanted to use lots of things from my stash. I had the 2024-2026 in color glimmer paper. I still have lots of this left. So I used that because the colors I used for my markers here to make Little Miss Pickles was light summer splash, which is also the coordinating ink pad that I used to do my ink blending. Then I used Petunia Pop as well as the light Petunia Pop stamping blend to make the sweater. And then Pickles is kind of dark brown. So dark copper clay was good for me to use for her coloring. So I have my blending brushes all ready to go. for the three colors. And I also, in the middle there, just have a little bit of lemon lolly. Those three colors work well together. And I always use my color coach. And be sure to come back and watch another video. I'm going to be doing a video of how I use the color coach. And I'll have a PDF linked to the new updated with all the new colors for 2026 as well in there. So if you have a color coach, you can update yours. But this is where I got the Summer Splash, Lemon Lolly, and Petunia Pop, and the three colors go beautifully together. So that is that. And then I also use, again, trying to use up my stash. I have the 24, 26 in color shimmer gems. So I brought them into the card. Then the trick I'm going to show you with fussy cutting, you're going to need a dark basic black Stampin' blend. All right, so let's get started. I think that is everything. And I'm not going to color. Come on, I don't do this. That's not why I made the video. I'm not going to color. I already have a Pickles all ready to go, but I will show you some of the techniques as we go along. All right, so what are we going to do first? Let me just actually, so I can get this off my desk, let me show you if you have this. This is a great die set that will stay in my stash forever. It's the mini alphabet dies. Okay, so that's what it cuts out. You also get a few other dies in here. Let me show you. There's your alphabet. And then you have just a few of the symbols. Okay, so that's the size cardstock. Now I left this piece in here, which I sometimes do on my dies to remind me of things. This is pattern paper. Looks so cool when you cut letters out in pattern paper. So don't forget that. And these are all the letters. So that's how I was able to customize. I already pulled out Look Who Is. So I just wanted to show you this, but I can absolutely get these off my desk now and they will be saved for another project. Okay, so, oh, and I also used for the first, again, just lots of things I wanted to tell you. I also used for the first time our new hybrid stamping pad. So this is not a magnetic closure, it's still this way, but apparently this is for stamping and for coloring. So I did try it, and there you have it with my stamping blends. That little smudge right there is from my marker, not the stamping. So I think it worked well with my stamping blends, but not really sure. I think it's hybrid because we're able to use it with everything. So I wanted to try that for coloring. All right, so what we're going to do is I have all my bits. Oh, I just dropped one. Let me pick these up. I dropped two letters, which we're going to need. I have all my bits and pieces cut out. And like I said, I already have a Pickles done, but fussy cut, but this is where I'm going to show you the tip after that. But I will stamp her just to show you using the using the hybrid. And I was playing, I already have one stamped, and here I have my letters. And I'm not going to do the inside like I told you. I do have my balloons. So I cut out three, and also with that coordinating streamers. So I have those. I made a little bow already. I did that off camera. So just showing you some of the supplies. All I need here is just a regular white card base. Here's a piece of basic black. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then here's that Irresistible. I'm using that plaid kind of stripe, but look at how nice it comes out after it's inked. So that's cut by 4 and 5 1/4. Oh, and one thing you're going to need, which I always have in my craft drawer, is just a piece of a paper towel. Not too big, but after you do your ink blending, you're going to want to wipe on top of that. Okay, so just to get this down, I am going to adhere my basic black just to my card base here. And I never refilled my Stampin' Seal yet. Since I've been back to vacation, I don't even know if I have more refills. I have to look. Okay, so I'm just guiding that on. When I use the 3/8, I just guide it on a little bit more. Oh, well, that's pretty good. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to leave the inside blank on this card so I can set that aside. Okay, now we're going to work with the Irresistibles. I have a piece of scrap. Let me get all this out of the way because then we'll put our little balloon cluster together. I'll show you how to do that while things dry, and we'll play with stamping. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start with the petunia pop, and I'm going to go at the bottom. I went a little higher, and I did that intentionally because I just wanted that nice background behind Pickles there, and then a little bit of that yellow in the middle, which kind of blends the top and bottom together. And it's okay if this starts to turn a little orange, maybe up top will turn a little green. I try not to mix the blending, but it happens with human, right? Okay, so I have my blending brush that I use for pinks. I don't have one per color. I kind of have just one per color family, but I do need some new ones. All right, so I get a nice amount on the brush, but then I take a nice amount off the brush because I just want all those hard edges off my bristles. So I'm just gonna hold, let me zoom in a little bit. I'm just gonna hold my cardstock to the side, and I'm gonna kind of go maybe about that a ways up. Okay, so lightly just start to blend. Stay at the bottom. Oh, I just hit my, darn it. When I pushed up, look at that. Didn't like that, but that's all right. You really just want to have a soft hand. All right, and I'm filling that in a lot. Okay, that's about good. It's not so bad, that smudge. All right. I think that's good. Now I'm going to come in with the lemon lolly. Same thing. Now I'm going to move my project away from the pink, or I'm going to turn, right? Because now I don't want to contaminate so much. So I'm going to kind of start here. This is really hard to pick up on camera, but you'll start to see it. And these two, I do go over a little bit just to kind of blend in. I need a little bit more on my brush. There we go. We need a nice amount to transfer on. In person, you really see it a lot more. And then you do lightly go over the two colors, right? But try not to so much. There, you could see. And they're blended into one another. I think it hits it perfectly without too much there. That's a good shot. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat it and do the summer splash on that side. So I'm going to close up summer splash. There, and I hit the yellow just enough so I don't have to go over it again, because if I go over it more, then it's going to start to turn green. One time, two times, that's enough. Okay, I think that looks really nice. Okay, now I'm going to close out my inks because we are done with them because I had already used all the colors. You can get this out of the way. All right, now you're going to take that paper towel, and so you see how it's not, that white's not really coming through. Look at the difference of my finished card. See how the white's really coming through? Because this is that resist that happens. This is like an embossed resist. So you're going to now take all the top layer of ink off, use a nice pressure, and look at how white And, there's a little bit on there, but the point is you're taking it off that white, and that white enamel is showing through a lot brighter now. And that's all you do. So that's called the Irresistibles cardstock. Really fun to play with to make your backgrounds. So let's move on. So now I can just adhere this. Look at how pretty that looks with that little bit of 1/8 of an inch of black popping through. I see so many different uses of just a card like this. Pop on a sentiment, pop on a die cut, done. Right? So let's just adhere this background down. And again, this is just a 4 1/4, and that black, basic black, is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I love to use eighths. I know, I'm sorry. But if you follow me and you don't like eighths, just adapt it accordingly, right? Okay, so that's it. That's our card base. All right, so playing with our little Miss Pickles here, I'm going to use the hybrid. And here she is. I have it already on my block. Wow, my blocks need to be cleaned. Yes, they do. How I clean my blocks, I either throw them in the dishwasher or I use Dawn soap. I mean, I clean them all the time. Right here, I have baby wipe. So baby wipe is what I use. But when I really want to deep clean them, dishwasher, or I use a Dawn soap. And what is the sponge with the smile on it? That sponge. Everybody knows we all use the same ones. Mommy or Scrub Daddy, whatever it is. We have every family member now in the scrubs. All right, so I'll just do a little stamping and coloring. So the way I stamp is I'm on a really hard surface here. So I just press down, and then I like to rub it a little bit without doing so much pressure. And that gives me a good nice stamp. You can use your Stamparatus or the new Stamparatus we had, which I did use for that, a lot darker, but this is just for coloring purposes. So I want to show you how I colored, well, how this ink works with coloring. So, I'll just go over some lines, and it didn't bleed. I didn't really wait, right? Like this one I stamped and didn't wait, and I'm touching the line. I just went over the line there intentionally, and it didn't bleed. So, but again, I would use your Stamparatus with this because you might want to hit it a few times just to get a darker color. Okay, so let's just use a light color. I just want to show you again, this is just for the video. I'm going to use the brush side to show you that it doesn't look like anything is smearing. Okay, so that was just for that. Like I said, I went ahead and created a Pickles Freddy. So all I did was colored her. Again, stamped. I used my Stamparatus. I did stamp it maybe 2 times just to get a nice black image there. And then I went ahead and fussy cut. Now, here's my tip to you. This one I fussy cut too. Look at how perfect it looks, right? Now, when we fussy cut, a lot of people don't like it because look at, I'm not perfect. Either I try to leave a little bit of the white around it so it looks like it's a die cut, or I try to go as close as I could. And then here's my tip for you. Use a black marker. I'm not going to use the brush tip. I'm going to use the chisel tip. And what I do is I am zoomed in. Okay, all I do now, you'll see the difference. So here's the before, and now what I do is I just outline it. Okay, and if there's a spot that a little bit of the white is showing more, if you just rest your marker on it, like here, look at the face. It like picks up the ink, but see, I kept it there too long. See, I got a little smudge. That's what happened on this one here. So you just got to be mindful of that, but you just kind of outline all the way around. You have to do the whole thing so it all looks even. And just keep going around. To me, that kind of finishes off. Look at how cool the tail looks, so much better, right? Look at this side. See how you still see the white? It's going to go real nice right now. See? Just this area right here. See? Perfect. All the white's gone. It now looks like just a die cut with a nice black edge. I love that. That's what I really love. Okay, now let's just put that aside a second just so it can dry. Let's pull in our silicone mat. I'm going to just show you a trick how to make that cluster like that. So what I did was I put the two balloons and I angled them. I'm taking a tiny piece of scotch tape, just to hold them together in the middle. Just like that, so that they're not flapping around, right? Then I'm going to use a dot of glue on that one, a dot of glue on that one. And I'm going to take my strings, and I want the two pink strings to kind of run into one another. So I'm going to try to do the best I could with laying this down and getting it in the position I want. And then I just can't mess with it because it's got to dry. Okay. Shoot. Don't curse, Stacy. Don't curse. And yes, I could use a glue dot, but I don't have the micro ones handy. And I've used the other ones and they're just a little bit too big. Okay, that's good. I'm going to take my other pink and do the same thing. Just get it how I want it and let it rest there. Okay, good. Just let it rest. That's perfect. I'm going to leave that for a second and not even touch it, but I'm just going to get my blue one here and I'm just going to get my doodad attached and let that one dry as well. This one just can go straight down. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to pick up my silicone mat and just move this and let that dry for a few minutes. Okay, now I'm going to come back in here. Now I'm going to bring in my words that I wanted. I'm going to use liquid glue for this, and it was Look Who Is. So I'm just going to get them all ready to go. I'm going to start attaching Look because I know I want that right in the upper left corner there. I'm just adhering these down with some liquid adhesive. Now it's just going to go right about there. Perfect. So I hope you pick up some Irresistible paper. Now that it's been out a while, I'm sure there's going to be so many other videos you can find. But you know, I also am going to start going through my stash as I need things, right? Like here, I needed a card because we're going over for some cake tonight for Pickles' birthday. So as I need items, I'm going to try to use my stash because you might have those items, right? And you want other ideas to use them. So I hadn't used my irresistible papers yet, and I had them for so long. I was like, okay, this is a fun technique. I love playing with ink. Y'all know that. Okay, Look Who. W. Okay, is it upside down? Yes, okay. Perfect. Right about there. And these letters, so stinking adorable. Great for card making, great for scrapbooking. The size is perfect. Having a good font is key. And this is I love bubbly fonts. So I absolutely adore this one. Okay, we're just getting this down and then we'll do our balloon cluster and we're done. And just some fun tips to put that together, right? And like I said, if you go back just on Saturday, I had my card class this month, which featured the balloon festoon stamp and dies. And I actually gave this month's class tutorial away for free. So it's linked in the description because you might want to try one of my card classes, or I had two S's. Look at that. Oh no, I guess it was for the pickles, but look who is. And see how I do my tutorials. I thought it was a good way to give back to my crafting community and those who might follow me or find me that, hey, here's a free tutorial. And that's a $10 value because I sell my tutorials on my website for $10. So anybody, no purchase necessary. Maybe you can just give me a like or share or follow me. Okay. And the number 1 is going to go right down there in the corner. So we're going to get that set up. So we have placement for our balloons. Okay. Number 1. Perfect. Okay. So now that our little miss is done, I'm going to cut her up on some foam. I get this foam tape on Amazon. I do hope that Stampin' Up comes out with foam tape because, the dots are great. I use it for smaller things, but I use so much foam tape, so very much that it needs to be cost effective for me. So I use my dots, but I do use this a lot more. Okay, and just a piece on the head and maybe a piece on the tail there. Ready to show, perfect. Maybe a little smidge on the tail. Okay, great. Okay. So we're gonna put her down, and then I think our balloons should be all dried, so we can probably get them on the card, and then we're done. Get a little cluster of balloons. And show you how I made that look bunched together with the ribbon there. Just a cute little effect. Why won't that come off? Off, everything's off except this leg. I'm just trying to be super careful because it's so thin, it'll come right off. Okay. I'm just gonna angle her up. Just like that. So it's not coming off the card. Okay, great. All right. We're gonna come back in with our balloons. So these two, I'm lightly picking up. I'm gonna flip them over and I'm just gonna get some tape on them. I would use liquid, but for the sake of the video, this again, and I am going to use liquid on this. I'll show you. Actually, no, I'm going to hold my finger here. So lightly, because I don't want in case it's not fully dried. Just gonna flip this over, put these two right down, just like that, okay? So now, there's some glue, some adhesive on the back, kind of maneuvering my strings. How do I really want that? Hold on, they're not down. They're not down. And I'm maneuvering them. I want over that, like that. Okay, just like that. That's what I was trying to go for. Okay, and then just lightly tapping them down. Okay, this guy here, we're going to flip over. We're going to put foam adhesive, dimensional foam, that one. Put it right, covering that tape, remember, right on top of that. You want to go a little higher, just don't go off your card. Okay, now you're just going to hold this layer up so that you can put a little dot of glue. Okay, and then you're going to push that down. So it looks like the three are gathered into one another. Now we're going to take some glue dots. I usually put 2 on the back of mine, and these are the regular ones, not the big ones, the regular, not the micro. I think these are just called mini. Okay, and then I'm going to put that, hold that down a minute. Just hold that down for a minute. Then I'm going to put my glue dot down as well. So it's gathered. Then wherever I desire, I'm going to cut my tails off. Like that. Okay. And then one final touch, right? We need some bling bling. So I'm coming in with those dots and just put 3 random ones around. So what colors do we want to use for this one? Let's use, oh, I don't have any more glue. I don't know. I think summer, we'll do the petunia pop. Finish those off. So we'll put one here. And one there. And one up there. Okay, we are finished. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. Again, using lots of items from my stash, a lot that are still available, and just using irresistibles, playing with some inks and blending. Oh, but look, I actually realized on this card, I did a little something additional, which I didn't do on this card, but that's totally fine. If you see, I did some ink splattering, and all you do with that is if you have a shimmer brush, I have a black shimmer brush, you do it, you hit it like that. Otherwise, you can use your Stampin' blends. Let me just demonstrate that really quick because I didn't do it on that part. Okay, let me get this out of the way. So how you would do that is after I had my ink blended background, before I adhered it to the black piece of cardstock, you would just get a box of some sort. Here's just a piece of scrap. Okay. I used, actually, this is probably the end of it. This is done. Close to my heart, had all the colors. I love that Stampin' Up! Is starting to come out with the shimmer brushes, but this is what you can do with your shimmer brushes. So mine's all juiced up already, and I don't have too much more in here because it's empty. So here's just a piece of basic white. So imagine this was our irresistible paper blended. All you do is start, see, I'm like kind of out here, but okay, I got some, you can see. And that's it. See how it's blended, it's splattered with some ink. But again, this right now is going in my garbage. Let me see. Here's another color. I have a darker color here. So this is, okay, yeah. So really what I do is I make a little ink pile. This is if I was using a Stampin' Blend. And I have lots of videos. I've done this so many other ways with Stampin' Blends, with your ink pad. So you get your brush nice and juicy in a little pile. There you go. And you just splatter. See that? I did a lot just for sake of the video, but that's how you do that. I apologize. I skipped over that, but you don't have to do that. That was just another example to show you what to do. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, here we are, our cute little Pickles that's turning 1. All right, everybody, you have a crafty evening. Take care now. Bye-bye.